And there we go. Hello, 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 LifeVantage. Welcome, welcome, welcome to our webinar this morning. Let's make sure that this is recording here. There we go. All right, what's going on, everybody? Welcome, welcome, welcome to our Saturday morning success mastery training. My name is Colton Smith, coming to you live from my home in Saratoga Springs, Utah. And this is, again, our success mastery training. These are training events that we are going to be doing every single Saturday from now and for the next 6 weeks. So again, 10 o'clock every single Saturday. We want you guys to jump onto this Zoom link, come right into the comment section, let us know where you're watching this from, and then get all the training that you can handle today. And I'm very excited because, my goodness, we got a lineup of 4 absolute powerhouses. We have a couple of Elite Pro 7s that are going to be jumping on, doing some training, as well as 2 Master Pro 10s. So again, every single Saturday, if you know someone on your team that is not jumping on this call, make sure that they are aware of this, because we here at Corporate want to make sure that we're giving you the training that you need every single week. And we're going to make sure that we keep this communication, bringing you some good content, good training. So make sure you're checking in every single Saturday at 10 o'clock into Zoom so that you can go ahead and check out our Success Mastery training. Now, to kick things off a little bit, I just want to cover a few things. Number one, a few promotions that are going on right now at LifeVantage that we want you to be aware of. Number one, we're running a really special promotion today in regards to our LifeVantage store, our merchandise store, where you can go and get LifeVantage swag. I'm wearing some right now, where you can go get yourself some cool LifeVantage swag. We got hats, we got shirts, we got sweaters, we got it all on the store.lifevantage.com website. And we're running a special promotion where if you use a promotional code, you're going to be able to get 10% off on your order on the LifeVantage store website, or merchandise store website. So using the code LVSAT28, all capital letters, LVSAT28, go to store.lifevantage.com, get your swag, get your clothes, whatever you want to get. And then as you're checking out, use that code LVSAT28, and you're going to get 10% off on your order. Go ahead and check that out and get yourself some cool LifeVantage swag. Another cool promotion that we are running in the United States is our Axio promotion. You might have seen it. Again, we are running that until the 29th. On March 29th, you have an opportunity to get yourself not only a couple bags of Axio, but a really cool Axio shaker. Again, we are running that now. You have today and tomorrow to take advantage of that. So make sure you take advantage of that. Get your swag, get your Axio, get your shakers. And on top of all that, the final promotion that I want to make sure all of you are aware of that we are running here at LifeVantage, and it ends, next Sunday, but it is a big, big, big promotion, is our Road to Regionals promotion. Now, we understand, and I hope you all know, we know that our LV Regionals obviously aren't happening. That section of the promotion we're working with right now, but there is an entire other aspect of this promotion where if you are the top product sales person in your market in a given week, we're going to be giving you $500 cash. So every single week in our markets of the United States, Canada, Mexico, and in Europe, for the top person that brings in the most new sales volume, we've been giving them $500 cash. It's been a lot of fun to see people earn this. And on top of that, there is a grand prize where each one of those markets, we're going to be giving out $15,000 in promotional in prize money after Sunday to the top 5 new sales volume earners in each one of these markets. So if you are one of those people from February 8th to April 5th that brought in the most new sales volume into your organization, if you end up in our top 5, you're going to walk away with anywhere from $1,000 extra cash to $5,000 extra cash. That's not a bad deal. at all whatsoever. So that is running right now. We are very excited about it, and that wraps up in April. You can go ahead and get onto your virtual office, check out our leaderboard and see where you sit. And again, we want to make sure that you're running for that, because it's going to be an absolute blast watching everyone go ahead and run for that. So with that said, let's go ahead and jump right into this. We want to let you all know that, to kick things off here, just a really quick note, we sent out an email about this yesterday to many of you. Just a reminder, we understand LifeVantage products are great. We understand that they are absolutely awesome and we love them to death. Just make sure, at the end of the day, our products, they do not diagnose, treat, cure, prevent any disease. They are just awesome products. We're going to ask you again, at the end of the day, the science is there, the science is great. Just make sure, at the end of the day, that you are following our guidelines when you're sharing product and you're sharing information about LifeVantage out there. So with that said, everyone, we're going to go ahead and jump right into the training. I want to make sure that all of you are sitting there ready to take some notes, because we got some absolute powerhouses on the call today. So pull out your notepads, take out your phone, get your laptops out, and get ready to take notes, because we are going to be hearing, we're going to get some product training right now, after which we're going to be hearing some distributor success stories. We're going to learn some skill sets as to what we can use to leverage and some skills we can use to build our LifeVantage business. And then we are going to have someone give us a little call to action. Each one of these aspects is going to be covered by a different LifeVantage distributor. But let's go ahead and jump right into some product training, some science training here at LifeVantage. I'm excited about this because we had this individual on our first call. I'm sure all you absolutely love and adore Dr. Brian Dixon, as we all do here at LifeVantage. He prefers that we just call him Brian, so I will just call him Brian. But we are lucky enough to have our Senior Vice President of Research and Development on the call today. And Dr. Brian Dixon, what I'm going to do is I'm just going to go ahead and send the call on over to you and let you just run away with our science and product training for the call today. Take it away, sir.
Hey, thanks so much, Colton. And, good morning, good afternoon, everybody. I'm going to jump right into my presentation. And, we're just going to talk about some aspects of health. And hopefully it's a few things that can help empower everybody that's out on the call. Sorry, a little bit of technical difficulties on my end. Let me try to fix something here. Well, I'll jump right in. So what I want to talk about today specifically are just strategies for optimal health. But I'm going to start the call by just asking the question, are you truly healthy? And are you truly healthy in every sense of the word? So what do I mean by that? If I was giving this presentation in front of a live audience, I'd ask you to raise your hand. And what's so interesting is when I do that, the majority of the audience raises their hand, okay? But I want to kick the tires on that just a little bit and ask, are you really healthy in every single way? So, my background is in the aging process. I'm a molecular biologist. My graduate mentor was a biochemist. So really, we were trying to understand what was changing on a biochemical and molecular level as we got older. But it turns out there's another practice of aging where you're actually looking after the elderly. So maybe as we get, especially into our advanced age, maybe we need to be institutionalized and we need these medical professionals to be looking after us. So there's this notion in the aging community or the gerontology community that's known as the aging continuum. And this is especially important for those healthcare practitioners when they're looking after our loved ones, that they need to decide and determine exactly when somebody first becomes frail or a little bit fragile, right? Their goal is to keep everybody in optimal health. But this becomes so important in clinical practice because if somebody initially becomes frail, their goal is to drive them back to optimal health. So they want to drive them back to the left side of this continuum. But what can happen is as the elderly slip further and further down the continuum, deeper into that frailty curve, what can happen is the medical interventions that these professionals are doing can actually do more harm than good, okay? So they need to determine when they first need to intervene, and it also becomes easier for them to drive them back to optimal health. So, I started thinking about this in every aspect of the word, and I started thinking, this doesn't just apply to the elderly. This can actually apply to everybody, no matter what their age is. Okay. And it can apply also no matter what health circumstance we're talking about. So are you truly healthy in every sense of the word? And, let me ask you a few questions, but what are those numbers that you're getting back from the doctor? What are your triglycerides? What's your cholesterol? What's your blood pressure, right? Importantly, what's that number that's staring back at you on the scale, right? What's your weight? Are you maintaining a healthy weight? And I'm going to say something that a lot of people hate to hear, but if you haven't calculated your BMI, I would encourage you to do that. And there's some great calculators online. I would just Google the NIH, for the National Institutes of Health, NIH BMI calculator, and calculate what is your BMI. Now, most people scoff when I say that because they hate it. But what a lot of people don't recognize and realize is that the BMI is actually based on scientific and medical data. So they've looked at people's BMIs and then they've calculated what is their health trajectory. And it just turns out the BMI, and especially being in the healthy range, will set you up for the best health circumstance, especially later in life. So it's based on science. Calculate your BMI and figure out exactly where you are. But what can we do to set ourselves up for optimal health? And it really comes down to leading a healthy lifestyle, okay? We have these 6 pillars of health at LifeVantage. So movement. I'm sorry, I wish I had better news, but we still have to exercise. But this can be just simple things like stretching, walking, but then of course, going to the gym, runs, etc., are all great for our health. We still have to eat our fruits and vegetables, so we have to consider nutrition. And no, it's not white bread sandwiches. We need to be striving for as many fruits and vegetables as we can eat within a day. Community is a really interesting one. There's these pockets of longevity around the world. They call them blue zones or longevity zones. But what's so interesting, and the one thing they have in common, is they all get together with friends, family, and loved ones and socialize literally every day. One of these longevity zones is located in Italy. I don't know if anybody's been to Italy, but you're hard pressed to have a dinner in under maybe 4 hours. So they're getting together, laughing, joking, just being together, socializing. And it turns out that is incredibly important for health, especially as we get older. Sleep is really this kind of new frontier. The brain is so complex. We don't know a lot about what's going on inside of our brains. But what is indisputable are the links between getting enough sleep and our health trajectory, again, especially later in life. Mindfulness, just think about what you're doing every second of every day, right? If you are sitting down with your family, maybe for dinner, whatever it might be, turn the phone off, be present, be there with your family. How many of us are guilty, for example, of just driving through a fast food restaurant and just stuffing that food in our face as we're rushing around to our next appointment? Sit down, enjoy, appreciate the food that we're eating, and that will also set you up for better health down the road. And then environment. Our environment that we live in is so important. So not just the outside environment, we don't maybe have a lot of control over that, but you can control the environment inside of your homes, your apartments, your houses. There's been studies that have been done that have shown that actually air quality inside of our homes can actually be far worse than it is outside, even on the most polluted days. Think about the products you're using, putting on your skin. What are the dishes you're eating out of? Personal philosophy of myself, I hate plastic. So we literally have 0 plastic inside of our homes. We eat off of glass plates and glass cups. So think about all of these things and these 6 pillars of health. And when you're doing them, that is how you're going to set yourself up for optimal health. So if we come back to this slide, are you truly healthy? And if you're really honest with yourself and truly introspective, is every single aspect of your health in optimal condition in every sense of the word? Where is every aspect of your health at on this health continuum? So let's put this in a little bigger context, and the context of aging, and probably for no other good reason than that's just kind of what I know best. But if we look at modern societies around the world, on average right now, we're living to be about 80 years of age. Unfortunately for us Americans, it's a little bit lower than 80, but just for the sake of this conversation, we'll keep it at 80 years of age. Look, at the start of the 1900s, so just about 100 years ago, our average lifespan was only about 55 years of age. So think in about 100 years, we've got a 25-year increase in our lifespan. This is no doubt due to increases in sanitation, medicine, but also nutrition, right? So 100 years we've gained this. And it took us about that same 25 years to get that similar increase in about 1,000 years. So most experts agree that the average lifespan was about 30 at the start of our modern calendar, or the year zero. So it took 1,000 years to get a 25-year increase, and in just the last 100 or so years, we've got that additional 25-year increase in lifespan. But I'm sure there's some young people on this webinar right now, and you might think, who's this guy? He's not talking to me. But you might be surprised to see how early in our lives the aging process actually begins. On that biochemical and molecular level, we can start to measure things changing as we get older, as early as our 20s and especially into our 30s. But then look at the slide on the screen. We can even start to measure physiological consequences occurring in our 20s, 30s, and especially into our 40s. So look, our ears, heart, and lungs, their function starts to decline in our early 20s. Have you ever wondered why most elite athletes around the world are in their 20s? I mean, there's some exceptions to the rules, but it's so rare that there's a professional or elite and Olympic athlete in their 30s and especially their 40s. And that's because in your 20s, you are in peak physical performance. We can look at our bones and muscles from the ages of about 35 to 40. We start to lose bone mass and lean muscle from our skeletons. So there's really nothing you can do. What we want to do is, especially early on in life, we want to get as much lean muscle added up. We want to build strong bones, especially when we're young. And then when we hit our 35 or 40-year range, we want to do everything we can to minimize that loss that occurs. And then just one more maybe sad fact, but our brain, right, our reaction time literally slows every year from the age of 18 on. So aging starts actually very, very early. And the sooner we can intervene in this, the better we can set ourselves up, especially later in life. And the fact of the matter is, it gets increasingly more difficult to maintain our health as we get older. In fact, this gets especially challenging in the last 10 years of our lives. If we are looking at modern societies around the world and healthcare costs, it's these last 10 years of our lives where we are accruing the majority of healthcare costs around the world. And quite frankly, if we do not do something about this, it will bankrupt even the richest countries in the world. Healthcare costs right now are just running away. The point I want to make by telling you all of this is that lifespan, quite frankly, is outpacing health span. So if we take that 10-year data that I just gave you, right, that we're accruing the majority of healthcare costs in our last 10 years, and I were to put that on this graph, it's literally setting us back 50 years in all the advances that we made. So our health span, right, that period of time in our lives when we're living as healthy as possible is significantly shorter than our lifespans. And what we need to be thinking about specifically is how we can shorten that gap between health span, and lifespan. Quite frankly, we are living too much of our lives living in the wrong portions of this health continuum. And so this is why it's so important to be introspective, be honest with yourselves, and where are you at in every aspect of your health. So maybe that's some of the bad news in the setup, but let me ask everybody on this webinar, do you control your health span? Do you have any control, or is it just like you've sat down at a poker table and you have to play the cards that you were dealt? Or is there something you can do? So generally speaking, there are three major things that contribute to our health span: lifestyle, environment, and your genetics. And we usually call this the rule of three. So if you think about it, 33% related to your lifestyle, 33% your environment, and then 33% is your genetics. But let me ask you a question. Can you control your lifestyle? Every single person should be nodding their head yes. Absolutely, you can control your lifestyle. How about your environment? Can you control your environment? It maybe gets a little bit harder. Maybe we have family ties, job ties that might make it hard to move geographically someplace else. But again, you can control your very local environment. What's going on inside of your house? What are the products you're using to clean your home, to clean yourselves? What about genetics? Can you control your genetics? Now, again, my experience is most people say no, but I'm going to show you some interesting data to talk about this. But let's first take a step back. Let's talk about lifestyle. And I want to show you some data that shows you can absolutely control your lifestyle. So this was a study that was done, just about 20 years ago by Professor Walt Willett, who's at the Harvard School of Public Health. He's an epidemiologist, so he's very good at looking at populations of people, looking at their lifestyles, and initially determining are these things that these people are doing actually shortening their lifespans. So what Dr. Willett did in this study is actually turn his models on their heads and ask the question, if people were living a healthy lifestyle, could they actually improve their health span? Okay. So on the bottom, it's obviously very generic. It just says condition 1, 2, 3, 4. It doesn't matter what these conditions are. I mean, and legally, I can't tell you what they are, but you can probably guess. These are the most important conditions that are affecting especially our health span. But Dr. Willett did these interventions and looked at people that were living a healthy lifestyle that included diet, exercise, lifestyle modifications, and nutritional modifications, including some nutritional supplementation. And he found that in these first two conditions, they were over 70% avoidable, meaning they were able to maintain their health in these cases. Condition 3, over 80% preventable. And then that last condition, condition number 4, was almost 100% avoidable, meaning they were able to maintain health if they were willing to lead this healthy lifestyle. And that last one, just so you know, is one that's related to carrying around too much weight and why it's so important that we're maintaining that healthy BMI. We do a little thought experiment with you. It's literally never too late to intervene in your health. So I love to garden. We've got plants around our house. Here's a nice, healthy plant. But if I stop taking care of this plant, maybe stop watering it, stop fertilizing it, stop playing Beethoven for it, whatever it might be. If I just start neglecting this plant, what's that plant going to look like? The flowers are going to start to wilt. Maybe the leaves will start to sag a little bit. But if I turn my full attention back to that plant and I start pouring water, fertilizer, love back onto that plant, can I nurse it back to health? Absolutely, I can, right? I can bring that plant back to optimal health. But let's say I continue to neglect this plant. I don't intervene soon. What's that plant going to look like? Maybe I neglect it for another week, another 2 weeks, another month. Eventually, the plant is going to die. No amount of love, water, fertilizer is going to bring that plant back to life and optimal health. So the point being, the sooner we can identify when things are falling out of maybe optimal health and we can intervene, the easier it is to bring ourselves back to optimal health. So I don't know why what's so intuitive for plants isn't exactly as intuitive as it is for humans, okay? Our cells, our bodies are in this constant state of turnover. The cells in our digestive tract, for example, turn over every 3 to 5 days. Our skin cells are turning over about every 28 days. Our blood is turning over every 3 to 6 months. And even something that we think is incredibly static, right, being our skeleton, is even turning over between every 2 to about 10 or 12 years, depending on how old we are. So we're turning over, and again, it's literally never too late to intervene in your health, okay? So that's why lifestyle is so important. How about your environment? Scientists love to do these studies called immigration studies. So they will look at places around the world that maybe have a low rate of some condition. And again, it doesn't literally matter which condition we're talking about. These studies have been repeated over and over and over again with all different sorts of things. So in this example, what they've done is they've looked at people who were born actually in China. They have an incredibly low rate for this condition. Now, when they move just a little bit south down into Singapore, their rate for this condition goes up by about tenfold. Tenfold. So as they're adopting these mostly lifestyle and diet from the country that they're in, it is negatively impacting their health. And then if they move even just a little bit further to Australia, or the data is very similar for the United States and Europe, but if they move a little bit more south to Australia, their rate goes up by about another 4 times. It's unbelievable, right? And then if you happen to look like me, born in the United States, my rate for this condition is astronomical. Now, that's very clear evidence that the environment we're living in is affecting your health. Now, what about your genetics? Most people are pretty skeptical that there's anything that we can do to affect our genetics, but let's talk about this for a second. Does everybody recognize who this is? It's Dolly the sheep. And why Dolly the sheep was so important is that she was the first ever cloned animal. So most of us know Dolly, but how about this kitty cat? This little kitten on the screen. Does anybody know her name? She's far less famous, but has probably had a bigger impact on genetics than even Dolly the sheep has. And her name is Cece, which stands for copycat. I mean, scientists aren't very creative when they're coming up with these names. So Cece was actually the product of a company located in California. And I'll just warn you, there's a couple bad science jokes coming. The name of this company was called Genetic Savings and Clone. Now, the business model for this company was that we love our animals, our cats and our dogs, so much that we'll do anything to keep them around literally forever. So what this company would do would go take a DNA sample when Fluffy was still alive. They would put her DNA in the freezer, and then when Fluffy passed away, they would pull that DNA out of the freezer, clone Fluffy, and then you'd have her right back. But do you see a problem if Cece, the kitten on the screen, is supposed to be a clone of her mother that's behind her? They don't look the same. If you paid thousands, if not tens of thousands of dollars to have Fluffy cloned, would you be a little pissed if they gave you that cat and you say, this isn't Fluffy? So these scientists wanted to figure out what was going on in this case. So they looked at the DNA, and sure enough, they found that these two cats had the exact primary DNA sequence. So Cece literally single-handedly started this field of genetics that's known as epigenetics. So it turns out that there's a chemical code that lives on top of your DNA code that is more important to determine which genes are turned on and which genes are turned off. So Cece's epigenetic code was much different than her mother's and is exactly why she looks different. Okay, so now I want to show you a picture of two identical twin sisters. You ready? What? These are mice. Yes, they're mice, but scientifically speaking, these are identical twin sisters. They were born from different mothers, but as scientists like to do, they try to standardize everything in their experimental models. So these mice are genetically exactly the same. The difference is that that mouse that's blonde and overweight was born from a mother when she was pregnant, was not allowed to exercise, and ate an unhealthy mouse diet. The mouse on the right, the lean, dark-haired mouse, her mother was fed a healthy mouse diet and was allowed to exercise. And I don't mean just forced to exercise. All they did was put a wheel inside of her cage and let her run just whenever she wanted. Voluntary exercise. The lifestyle that you're living is affecting our offspring. And what else is so interesting about this is that they have come to figure out that this epigenetic code can also be passed on generation to generation to generation. So for me, how scary is it to think that how my grandmother and her mother were living their lives is affecting my health outcome? So you might be thinking to yourself, okay, Brian, I'm not a sheep, I'm not a cat, definitely not a mouse. Is something similar happening in the human condition? And the answer is absolutely yes. So here's just one study that illustrates this point. This is from identical twins, and they looked at this epigenetic code in these twins when they were 3 years old, and then again 47 years later when they were 50 years old. So the details here aren't super important, but can you see with the chart on the left how most of those lines are lining up? When they came back 47 years later and they measured that epigenetic code, can you see now how the lines are very different between these two twins? As these two individuals went off and led their separate lives, their lifestyle was affecting that epigenetic code. But this isn't the only way that we can affect our genetics. What about nutrigenomics? So I spoke about nutrigenomics last week, and I'd encourage you to go maybe listen to that call if you want to hear more about nutrigenomics. We're not going to talk a ton about it today, but it turns out there are ways we can affect how our genes are being expressed by simple nutritional interventions. So literally, we can use nutrition to flip these genetic switches of so-called health genes, survival genes, anti-stress genes, adaptive genes, whatever you want to call them. We can target these genes by utilizing simple nutritional interventions, okay? So that was just a quick run through of the science that you actually do literally have full executive control over your health span if you're willing to lead a healthy lifestyle. And so to break it down even more simply, I love this slide. So you are what you eat. I think we've all heard that for a number of years, but you are also a product of your exposures. So whether it's environmental or the things we're doing inside of our home, but then also very importantly, not only you're not a product of your genes, you're a product of the expression of those genes and which genes are turned off and on. So again, you literally have full control of your health and your health span. And quite simply put, health is a function of how we are living our lives. So I don't care where you're at, right? If I want to build a skyscraper or if I want to build a nice, cozy home, it doesn't matter. I need to get the foundation right. If I don't get the foundation right, I can't build a skyscraper and I can't build a nice, cozy home. I don't care if you're an elite athlete, a weekend warrior, or somebody who just wants to get comfortable in their health. You have to get your foundation right. And again, that starts with these 6 pillars of health. So check in. What are you doing in every aspect of your lives? Are you leading a healthy lifestyle? It's when you're doing that, you're setting yourself up for optimal health. It's then and only then does it make sense to add a nutritional supplement onto that regime. Quite frankly, supplements are meant to complement a healthy lifestyle and can then help set you up for even better health down the road. So again, I'll ask you, are you truly healthy in every sense of the word? Or might there be some things that you can do to actually take charge, take ownership? Are you going to commit to doing some things? So I want you to do a little homework. You can mention it in the chat here. You can text your friend, email a friend, write it down. But I want each of you to commit to one thing that you're going to do in your lives to help maintain your health for as long as possible. Are you going to commit to going for a walk every single day? And it doesn't have to be heroic. It can be 15 to 30 minutes. It will change your health trajectory. Build up to an hour. Are you going to commit to going for a run or to the gym the majority of the days of the week? Are you going to try to eat healthier? Are you going to eat healthy meats and protein sources? Are you going to eat more fruits and vegetables? Maybe you'll take an entire meal, if not an entire day, to maybe eat plant-based. What are you going to do? Are you going to commit to taking your supplements every single day? What is the one thing you can do to start improving your health and improve your health span? Okay. The reason this is so important is because they will become habits. And quite frankly, healthy habits increase health. And more than that, they snowball. When you start with one healthy habit, all of a sudden you'll find yourself wanting to do another healthy habit and then another healthy habit. And before long, day by day, these healthy habits become second nature. And I promise you that they will improve your physical condition. So with that, I'd like to turn it back over to Colton and thank everybody for tuning in this morning.
Awesome. Thank you so much. Boom. Boom. The comment section just absolutely blew up there. Dr. Brian Dixon right there at the very end of your presentation. Thank you so much for jumping on. That was kind of like a little mini Elite Academy presentation that you see on the main stage. That is absolutely awesome. We appreciate you jumping on and sharing.
Thanks for having me.
That is totally, totally fantastic. Thank you so much. Well, guys, we're going to go ahead and jump right into the distributor training right now. And I'm incredibly excited because we have a lot of incredible presenters that are going to be jumping on and sharing with us today, starting off with a little interview. And I'm very excited about this because our first interviewer is someone that I've been able to work with now for a long time, for 9, almost 10 years. She comes to us all the way from South Dakota. She joined LifeVantage in October of 2010. She is a mother of 3. She is the wife to Mr. Shane Teal, a gentleman who I absolutely love dearly. Prior to joining LifeVantage, she worked in business development at one of the largest banks in the United States. No prior network marketing experience, but now today she is an elite Pro 7, an elite distributor in our business at LifeVantage, is someone who brings in $100,000 worth of business into their organization every single month. So again, someone that you're going to want to listen to. And this is none other than elite Pro 7, Cassie Teal. So Cassie, let's go ahead and jump right into it. Your mom, your wife, you've been at LifeVantage for 9.5 years. Why don't you go ahead and give us just a little bit more about your story?
Awesome, Colton. Well, I just got one question for everybody. Who is excited? Oh my gosh, I loved what Brian just shared with us. I'm a little bit of a science geek. I went to college to be a high school biology teacher. So I have to admit that what you just shared, Brian, got me super, super excited. And I hope everybody out there is just jumping out of your seats right now to put the rest of the story together. And Colton, I want to hand it back to you, my friend. One of my favorite things, there were so many things I was excited about when I said yes to LifeVantage, but I had no idea the caliber of amazing professionals I was going to get to work with. And that's you I'm talking about, buddy. So thank you so much to you and your team for putting this together, because we all know we're in kind of crazy times right now, and different times require different measures. And I know that you and your team have put a lot of work into making this happen. So thank you for doing that. But I'm Cassie Teal. I'm from a little tiny town in Colton, South Dakota, like Colton said. See, Colton, yeah, we're like twins that way. But I am married. I do have 3 awesome kids, and they keep me hopping all hours of the day. We are a sports family. So you can imagine when our 3 kids play about every sport possible. So you can imagine we keep a crazy, crazy schedule. But outside of my passions, outside of my family, my passions are family people, but I'm super, super passionate about fitness. I'm super passionate about nutrition. I'm super passionate about prevention for lots of different reasons. So you can see it was an absolute no-brainer why the second I saw LifeVantage, I was all in, because I remember that exact moment back in October 2010, that if this is even half real, it's going to change the world. And pay attention to this statement I'm going to say right now, because we're going to circle back to this. That one decision I made on October 20th, 2010 changed the course of history for me and my family. And it also allowed me to rewrite my story. So super, super glad that somebody had enough courage to pick up the phone and say, hey, Cassie, what do you think about this?
Awesome. Absolutely awesome. So Cassie, again, you mentioned October 2010, you joined LifeVantage. Tell us what was significant about that time when you joined in October 2010 and how it relates to kind of what's going on in the world today.
So if anybody remembers 2010, life was crazy because we were in the middle of, remember, a global financial crisis. So if you are my age or older, you know exactly what I'm talking about. If you're younger, if you're 20-something, you probably remember your parents going through this. But we were in the middle of a massive global economic crisis. And as Colton said, I was working for a large bank in financial services. And so working in the financial services world was really, really tough. Okay. So remember, 3 tiny kids at home at the time, massive stress at work. I mean, I was working 60+ hours a week. I was traveling all the time. So do the math. Okay. I was what you would call a tired, wore out, cranky mom and a tired, wore out, cranky wife. I was exhausted. I was stressed to the max. I mean, I could literally feel myself aging. Like I could feel it. Like I was in my early 30s and I could physically feel myself aging. And I seriously remember thinking, like, if this is what it feels like to be 32, what does 40 feel like? What does 50 feel like? And then I would get up in the morning to get ready for work, and I would just kind of brace myself as I would see the dark circles forming under my eyes. And that's when I started to realize, okay, maybe this success thing that I'm chasing, maybe it's not what it's cracked up to be. Because I remember physically thinking, like, if this is what success is, I just don't want it anymore, because it was literally taking a toll on me physically, mentally, emotionally. My mind was a million miles away all the time. My 3 little kids at home just wanted their mom, and I was just kind of a wreck. And so I will tell you, life was crazy. But then this one particular day happened. Okay, so life was crazy. Can anybody relate to crazy? If you can relate to crazy, drop crazy in the comments, okay? And then this day happened. I had a meeting with my boss, and it was just done. It was 8 o'clock in the morning. It was the 7th of July, and there was a business decision made to close my division. So I lost my job at 8 in the morning, and I was leaving my boss's office. He said, oh, by the way, don't tell Shane, because he's about to lose his job at 2 this afternoon. So we both lost our job the same day by nothing that we did. It was simply just a business decision. So is this hitting home? Because it was crazy, 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 and then it just stopped. And we had no control over the stop, right? And then I went home and I remember feeling fear, massive scarcity. I was freaking out, right? Freaking out, not knowing what we were going to do, right? But then something really incredible got to happen. I was home with my kids for 60 days. And we did these weird things like hang out, go on walks, go on bike rides, eat meals together. And I started to realize that, hey, wow, this life is actually pretty cool, because the stress, the anxiety, the fear, all of those things I was feeling when I was in my dream job were gone. And I started to think to myself, okay, somebody somewhere gets to do this and they get paid. What are those people doing? And I really started to be interested in some other things I could do. I just didn't know anything different. So when I got the phone call to go back to work, to my dream job, I went back and I realized in about 5 minutes that dream job that I sobbed because I lost, I realized I didn't like it. I'm like, I guess I don't like this. What's wrong? Because I realized the most important things in life weren't what I was doing, right? And so I took this different job that instantly sucked me back into the game of stress, anxiety, feeling just emotionally and physically stressed all the time. And that's when I realized, okay, I'm going to do this right now because I don't know how to take care of my family any other way. But what I did know is I was looking. Like, nobody would have ever thought that I was looking for a different job, but I was. And so when I got the opportunity to take a look at LifeVantage, it was one of those crazy things. I sat down, I watched the 9-minute video, and I was like, yes, I was all in. Because again, back to the things I'm passionate about, back to a little bit about my background of being kind of a science nerd, and understanding if this was even half real, it was going to change the world. I signed myself up as a distributor. My enroller called me and told me I did it wrong because I was just supposed to buy product. I'm like, no, you don't understand. You don't understand. Like, nobody gets this yet. Like, nobody understands this yet. And somebody somewhere is going to do this. Why does it have to be somebody who knew somebody who knew somebody who lived in a big house in Chicago that got to do this? Why can't it be this farm kid from South Dakota? So I jumped in with no experience, guys. It was literally like throwing pieces of spaghetti at the wall, trying to figure out what was going to stick. But I was just excited, and I had belief in a product that I'd never even taken. Okay, I'd never taken the product. I didn't know the comp plan. I knew nobody in the corporate office, but I knew that this was something special that nobody knew about yet. And when you've got a business opportunity early with something unique, you can make money. And money, what was going to get me back home with my kids. So that's really where I just decided to jump in and say, what the heck, I'm not stupid and I know how to work. I'm going to figure this thing out.
Yazzie, I love hearing your story. Your story is just awesome. It's absolutely awesome. And you made some parallels between 2010 and what's going on today. And we got a big group right now that is watching this live. We're going to have thousands of people watch this after the fact. So I guess, what is the most important piece of advice you can give to everyone that's listening today?
Okay, so if you haven't listened to anything yet, no worries, but listen to this, okay? Whether you've been here for 10 years, 10 days, or 10 minutes, okay? Because there's some of you right now that probably just got started this morning, right? Doesn't matter how long you've been here, now is your time. The stars have aligned for you, okay? And here's how I know that anybody there's really 4 key things that you need to build this business, okay? If you've got a burning desire to change your story, if you're willing to go to work, you're willing to be coachable, and you're willing to follow a system, you can do this. For the first time, it doesn't matter who you are, where you live, what your degree is, what your background is, what your GPA is, you get to do this. So when it comes to building this business, skills are important, and you're going to hear some amazing stuff today on some skills that you're going to need to learn. But the most important thing you can have today starts with a B, and that B is belief. And whether your B is this big or it's this big, today is your day to grow your belief, because we all have belief in the company, or you wouldn't be here if you didn't. We all have belief in the product, because you wouldn't be here if you didn't. The number one thing that we do today is we build that belief in ourselves, okay? Because remember, tired, wore out, stressed out, cranky mom with no experience came here at a time of craziness, and I was just hungry. I was just hungry for change. So here's my advice. These next 90 days, we're going into the second quarter right now. They're going to happen with you or without you, okay? And I hope and pray it's with you, because remember, I wanted to change my story, and that decision to say yes changed everything in my life. So these next 90 days, here are your options. You can Netflix and chill and probably binge eat, because that's kind of what everybody's talking about is I'm eating too much, I'm watching too much TV. So you can Netflix and chill, or you can level up. And when I say level up, take everything you've got and put it into your business. Exercise every day. The produce sections are full. Trust me, okay? That section of the store is full. Choose for 90 days to put good stuff in. Move your body and get to work, because here's what can happen. When you do this, okay? When you do this and you apply it and you make the decision today to make the next 90 days the best days ever in your life, two things are going to happen. Number one, your business is going to look different. In 90 days from now, I guarantee your business will look different than if you Netflixed and chilled, okay? Netflix and chill might be fun, but 10 years from now, when your little kids are learning in school about the coronavirus, do you want to tell them, oh my gosh, I watched everything possible on Netflix. I was binge eating Doritos and all this other crap every day? Or are you going to tell them, you know what, I took this time to level up and change the course of history for our family. And because I did that, I was able to rewrite not only my story, but I helped you rewrite your story. And I helped a whole bunch of people do the same thing. So here's the deal, guys. Let's do this together. Let's choose the leveling up. Let's go rewrite our stories, and let's help other people do the same. Thank you, Colton.
Perfect. Kazzy, it's always a pleasure to hear from you. You're absolutely incredible. Can we get a Go Big Red, by the way?
1, 2, 3. Go
Big Red! Woo!
Go Big Red.
Awesome. I forgot that second part, because, I'm sure you know all about that. Awesome. Kazzy, thank you so much for jumping on. Absolutely incredible. Now, as we talked about at the beginning of this call, we're going to actually be doing some skills training today, and we're very excited for our next presenter, because they're going to be doing a lot of talking about inviting. And I'm very excited to bring up this next presenter. Prior to network marketing, he spent 10 years in corporate America. He joined the network marketing world at the age of 26. He's built successful teams all over the world. He's an author. He's an incredible trainer. He and his wife, Stephanie, are just wonderful people. He has, I think, now 38 kids around there. He's always holding a small baby. And one of the best basketball players, incredible at rebounding, boxing people out. Can do that all day, every day. And that's none other than Master Pro 10, Mr. Seth Mulder. Seth Mulder, go ahead and take it away, my man.
Love it, love it, love it. Thank you so much. Hey, Colton, quick sound check. How am I doing? All right, let's go. We got 15 minutes of blue sky. Man, I'm so blessed to be with you guys today. Thanks for being here. Thanks for investing in your business. The question has been brought up. Should I be talking to people right now? Should I be talking about LifeVantage? Should I be sharing our opportunity? Is it appropriate right now to be reaching out and talking to people about business? I don't want to seem, I don't want anybody to think I'm being opportunistic or insensitive. Let me review a couple of things. I'm pulling out my notepad today. The last couple of days, guys. I'm going to use first names. Donna. I've not spoken with Donna in over a year. She's actually in my funnel. She's in the process, but got lost in the process. Wasn't really interested in what I was sending her. I sent her a re-invite 2 days ago or yesterday, something. This is all in the last few days. She says, yes, tell me more. Why? Because things are happening in the world right now. I'm going to tell you, I think the next couple of years, people's antennas, that tuning in, are going to be tuned in to two powerful, necessary, meaningful messages that can change the human condition. Number one, our health. Thank you, Dr. Brian Dixon. That was fabulous today. And your personal economy. Kazzy Teal, thank you so much for sharing your story today. Brooke, I had reached out to Brooke a year or so ago. She's done network marketing before, was not interested. I reached out to her yesterday and I re-invited her. Strong on the business. I'm going to be sharing some of what I shared with her yesterday. She gets back to me and says, yes, we're interested. I mean, she almost like reached through the phone and pulled me in. I mean, it was like powerful. Wow. We need to do this. I sent her some information. She went through it immediately. And it was, again, she was like pulling me through the fiber optics and saying, this is stinking amazing. Thanks. We really need this opportunity. Guys, had I not reached out, I would not have known that. Had I let them stay where I thought they were in the status quo, where they were, by the way, a year ago, wouldn't have experienced that. Ross, my buddy Ross, has been stuck in my funnel for a year. I reached out to him this week. I should say over the past couple of weeks. And this week we finally spoke because he's a busy guy. And he's like, yes, Seth, I'm totally interested. I've been ignoring you for 11 years, basically. Okay. I've been inviting him for over 11 years, guys. Actually, it's been 15. And I said, are you really interested? Yes, I am. I'm in a point now I'm interested. Okay, awesome. On what? Business and product. My friend Steve, same story. Stuck for a year, not doing anything. So interested in the product. Everybody's going to have their own interests. My buddy Perry, I haven't talked to Perry in a year, and he kind of pushed, I don't want to say blew me off, but basically said, yeah, not my story. Yesterday I reached out to him. Guys, he came back and said, yes, tell me more. I could go on and on and on and on. Is this a time that we should be talking to people? Absolutely. There is a massive amount of uncertainty in the world right now. A lot of uncertainty about, am I going to be healthy? Are my family going to be able to stay healthy? There's a massive amount of uncertainty about the economy, the stock market. I've heard over and over and over now, we're in a bear market. I'm not going to get too much into macroeconomics today, guys, only to say that we function in that environment. And so we need to know about that environment, and we need to be able to act. You can act or react or be acted upon. People are interested in these two messages. So the short answer is yes, 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 yes. Yes, people are interested. They're heightened to this degree that we weren't maybe seeing 60 days ago, that their health is all of a sudden super, super critical important. Again, that's not going to stop whenever it does, this particular epidemic, pandemic, blows over. It's going to be on people's minds, guys. Same with the economy. So yes, 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 you should be inviting. If you have something of value, you absolutely should be inviting, because in times of uncertainty, people are looking for certainty, and that's what we can bring them. Okay, let's talk about inviting them. How many of you I would love to see the chat box just explode. How many of you would love to invite with so much power, with so much speed, with so much intensity that maybe that you haven't been able to grasp before? Drop that if you'd love there. I would love to get some honest replies. How many of boy, that chat box is like, brrr. How many of you, honestly, how many of you struggle to invite? Be honest here. How many of you experience what I call invitation reluctance, right? How many of you, especially being holed up at home, how many of you are now so willing? Yes, if you struggle, drop it in there, guys. Okay, I have struggled. Hello, my name is Seth Mulder, and I am a professional network marketer who has experienced invitation reluctance. Okay, hey, we're all out on the table, guys. I'm coming out of the closet with that today. I've struggled. I have organized my desk. Over the last 18 years, I've been a professional network marketer. I have organized my desk in order to avoid inviting so many times. I have washed the dishes. I've done the laundry. I've decided to do things in the house that don't need to be done, okay? Because I'm scared. There's this anxiety. There's this fear. I love what I do. I believe in these products, but there's pain. There's unknown. There's fear associated with the inviting, okay? And so I've experienced that off and on through my career. It wasn't like it was all at the beginning and then it went away. It's been off and on, okay? So if hard to believe, there's a lot of things about people that we don't know. Guys, you don't know what's going on in people's head or their heart or their home unless you get involved, unless you get out there. So if you've experienced the heavy cell phone, okay, if you've experienced, let's clean the kitchen, let's organize the garage today, and I'll get to my business later tonight. I'm here to teach you. I'm here to give you an opportunity to implement a new strategy. I started doing this It's probably been within the last 2 years that I started doing this. It has absolutely changed my perspective. It's changed my mindset. It's changed my approach to making invitations. And most importantly, it's changed my results, my consistent results. I am more intense and I am more consistent. So here we go. Number one, you're just looking for yes. Here's a little mindset activity. You're just looking for yes. You're not looking for, yes, I'll join your business. Yes, I will sign up under you. I'll join your team. You're just looking for, yes, I am open. Okay. That's all we're looking to get from an invitation. Yes, I am open. If somebody is open, man, you've got the whole world in front of you. If they're not open, there is no progression, and that's okay. We're not going to get everybody. We don't need to get everybody. There is a large enough percentage of the population, and that percentage just skyrocketed. I don't know if it doubled or tripled or quadrupled, but it just massively expanded because of what's going on in the world for both of our messages, okay? So you're just looking for yes. Okay, secondly, there is no magic invitation. There's no magic one script that is going to work or one saying that's going to work for everybody. Just know that. Be okay with inviting being a learning process. I have to get into I'm going to share an invite that Tara Wilson shared with me a few years ago. She and I have trained on it at Elite Academy or convention. And hey, I love that last comment. Love that last comment. Thank you. This is so transformational, guys. So there's no magic invite, but sometimes you'll latch onto an invite because it'll be what you need right then. Awesome. Okay. So what I'm going to teach you today, and we're going to do a skill together called jump starting your invitation. So here's what I'm going to ask you to do. I'm going to ask you to quickly think of 3 people. Now, 90% of you are not going to do this. I'm speaking to 100% of you, but I'm expecting that 10% of you are going to do this. So be the 10%, okay? And drop it in the chat box when you've done it. And we've got to roll very quickly with this exercise. Number one thing I want you to do, write down 3 people that you want to talk to. 3 people that you want to share this or reshare this. Maybe they're like some of my friends who've been stuck down. Jillian, you're already there. Sabrina, done. Okay, good. Great. Write down 3 people. Now here's what we're going to do. I'm going to share my screen. This is what I do in the mornings, guys, my routine. And I do this with our team, and it's stinking amazing what happens in the AM. Because when you can get things done in the AM, everything else is downhill. It's like you've got inertia, you've got movement. It's easy to do, and I feel great about myself. So many days, so many weeks, so many months over the years of the course of my network marketing professional career, I have felt bad about myself because I felt like I'm not doing enough. There's never enough, and frankly, you're never doing enough, right? You can't. But I would also put things off until, well, I don't want to invite now. Maybe I'll do it. Maybe I'll do it when I get home from work. Maybe I'll do it at 7. Maybe I'll do it when the kids get into bed and it's 9:30 and I'm like, freak, I didn't do what I was supposed to do. I feel terrible about that. I've carried all this anxiety with me all day long, and that's no fun, okay?
My apologies. I couldn't hear what you said.
My Apple Watch is talking to me. This makes it fun. It makes it fast. And dare I say, I'm so cautious about sharing this word with you, it makes it easy. It's made it easy for me. Would you like me to share it? I need at least 3 people to say, yes, please share. Okay. Here's the deal. I'm going to jumpstart 10 conversations. Now, I only gave you a chance to do 3 today. You write these 3 names down. I want you to do this, okay? Here's how I jumpstart conversations. I don't go into the invite. Let me go into screen share. I'm going to share a photo with you in exactly 3, 2, 1, boom. All right. Somebody drop a comment. Make sure that you can see my screen. Just type in screen if you can see my screen. These are actual okay, perfect. These are we have a script doc that we use called What to Say and When to Say It. These are reach out, establishing contact, jump starts. So here's what I do. I'm going to invite you, just do this with these people. The 3 people on your list. You don't even have to know why to do this. Just do it. Pick one of these sayings, okay? Hey, are you around for a quick text chat? Hey, do you have a quick minute to talk about business? ? Don't do all of these to the same person. Just one of them. Okay, guys. Where in the world are you today? Question mark. You alive? Question mark. You still awake? Question mark. If you haven't talked to them in a while, yes, you alive. Dude, Sharice, I do this all the time. Because when my friends maybe haven't gotten back to me a couple of times, right? Maybe you've invited them a couple of times and they, and you sent the links and they never got back. You just say, dude, Sharice, are you alive? Question mark. LOL. A couple of emojis. It works. Okay. And they're like, oh yeah, sorry. Life's been crazy. I.e., you're not important enough to me yet, but I'm responding now. Listen, guys, what is important to you is not yet important to them. Give them a break. They don't know what you know. They haven't seen what you've seen. They haven't felt what you felt. Give them a break. There is a lot going on, and you're going to get lost in the shuffle. So this is why that's so important. Hey, if I haven't talked to Erica in a while, I say, Erica, is this still your number? Just did this recently with Amelia. She's like, and they said, no, it's not. Here's her new number. And then I said, Amelia, hey, is this you? And they might say, yeah, who's this? Hey, this is Seth Mulder. And boom, I've jump-started the conversation. Hey, you around? You got a minute? Question mark. Or yes, sometimes I do this. I love this one. Oh, brother, where art thou? Okay. Can you see I'm having fun with these? Here's why I do these jump-start conversations. If you will do this in the morning, in the AM to 10 people, here's what's going to happen. You're going to have 4, 5, 6, maybe 7 of them respond to you. Okay. And all these people that I'm reaching out to, the only people I'm reaching out to are people I'm actually interested in inviting. Okay. I don't do it to the people I'm trying to develop relationships. This is invitation central. From here, for example, if I say, hey, do you have a minute to talk business? They say, sure. Boom. I'm going to go into an invitation. Would you guys like to see a potential invitation? Drop some yeses. If you'd like to see a potential invitation script. If I don't see it, then maybe I'll just move on and we won't do it. Anybody? Just kidding, I know. All right, so here are 3 options then that I can go into. Now, after I jumpstart that conversation, again, jumpstart 10 conversations in the AM, I'm telling you, you're gonna have people that day looking at your business, okay? So I might say something like, they say, hey, yeah, what's up? I say, hey, boom. And I'm just gonna text this. When it comes to money and business, and I love to put money and business together like that. That's one concept, guys. Shortens my text just a little, but there's just something about that. Hey, when it comes to money and business, do you keep your options open? Boom, and you send it, right? So as I jumpstart the conversation, they reply, and boom, I'm going into it. Here's a script that Tara shared with me, and we've shared together on the main stage. Hey, I'm launching an online business. I'm looking to connect with 3 types of people. Screenshot these, by the way, guys. That's why I put them up here. Customers, I'm looking for 3 types of people, right? Customers, partners, referrals, who do you know? Anyway, I really appreciate your support if I send you a short video today. Can you check it out? Boom. Yes. Okay. Or, hey, something even shorter. I'm excited about something. I started a new online business. By the way, do you think online right now is a key? Do you think that's a buzzword? It is, guys. You've got an online business, online subscription business. Boom. Use these words. I knew I needed to talk. If I send you some quick info, would you take a look at it? Boom. Yes. Okay, guys, I have been doing this, again, for a while. I just took those screenshots down. So powerful. But here's what really, I think, made the difference for me. The fact that it was easy for me to jumpstart the conversation, to send one of those texts, oh, brother, where art thou, right? Getting something going. I could easily sit down. If I have a list of people, the 3. How many of you did your 3, by the way? If you did your 3, just type a 3. In there. Eileen Whipple does this all the time. I love it. Eileen wrote 3/1. You know what that means, guys? She texted 3 people, jump-started 3 right now with this training /1. The one is, 1 has already responded to her. Do you know how fun it is to talk to people who are responding to you? Jump-start your conversations. I'm going to challenge you. If you want to launch your business, jumpstart a minimum of 10 conversations. Because again, you're only going to get a percentage of them back. If they don't respond, it doesn't matter because it's benign, had no meaning, right? It wasn't like, oh, I know Seth's inviting me. They don't even know, okay? We got a 2 and a 2, love it. 5, Pam, great. Love these numbers, guys. Your recruiting from what we did today in these few minutes will go up based on these actions, which will lead to the results. Jumpstart a minimum of 10 conversations a day for the next 7 days. Just try it and let me know how it goes, but it makes this business fun. Thank you, everybody. Let's go put the move into the movement.
Woo! My man, Seth Mulder. The chat just like blew up. It's gone. The chat exploded. It's gone. It's gone. That was Absolutely incredible. Jump starting your invitation. Tons of gold nuggets in there. Tons of gold nuggets in there. Thank you so much, Seth, for jumping on and training and sharing with us today. That was absolutely fantastic. Make sure you take all those notes and apply those notes to your business. Never been a better time than right now. I think we can all agree. Right now, kind of a unique time in the world. Never better than right now to take that advice, take that training that Seth did, and apply it to your business right now. Now, with that said, we're going to go ahead and hear another amazing success story here at LifeVantage. And I'm incredibly excited about this because this is a pretty incredible story. I'm sure many of you that are listening to the call right now, you probably have goals to get to the rank of Elite Pro 7. As I mentioned earlier, an Elite Pro 7 in our business is someone that generates about $100,000 in volume into their business every single month. Well, our next presenter, he joined LifeVantage in March of 2018, and he did just that in just 11 months. In under a year, was able to get to the ranks of Elite Pro 7, which is absolutely incredible. So he's only been here in the business for 2 years, is already an Elite Pro 7, an amazing trainer, and that is none other than Mr. William Lambert from North Carolina. So, William, I'm going to go ahead and just jump right into a few of the questions here. So why don't you go ahead and give us a little bit of your story?
Oh, wow. How am I supposed to follow that? Lord of mercy, guys.
You can.
I was not worried about this at all until Seth blew the world up.
Yes, we can.
Oh, Lord of mercy. Well, basically, when I saw this, I didn't want to see it. I mean, here's a key, guys, is follow up, follow up, follow up, follow up, follow up. Sheila Gibbs bugged me for like 6 weeks to take a look at this. I did not want to be involved in networking at all at that time, but I loved her and I respected her. So finally I relented and I said, okay, I'll take a look. What do I need to look at? She told me where to go to take a look, and I sat there for like 3 days reading. I was enthralled. I just couldn't believe the results that people were having on these products, right? And I was thoroughly convinced it must cost $1,000 a month. And so when she told me it was $40.99 a month, I was like, I'm in. Everybody in the world needs to know about this. And that day, I didn't know what I was going to do or how I was going to do it. And I was in March, right? So April the 11th, I actually activated and started in 2018, and I blew it up. From day one, my mind was set on Elite Pro 7. That's where I'm going. I won't stop till I get there. I'm going. And nothing got in my way, no family time, no job, nothing got in my way. I was doing this. I was going to do it on a consistent basis every single week. I needed growth, and that's what I got. Now, I did it a little differently than most other people. My list was about that long, and I knew there were people out there with lists that were about that long, and I wanted to sponsor them because I wanted to work off of their list, right? So what I did is I cut them a business deal. I said, okay, if you'll expose me to your followers, I'll build your business for you. And that's what happened. All of them were strangers. They were all strangers, guys. I didn't know any of them. They were all strangers. Woo! How do you do that? You approach, just like Seth was talking about. You approach, right? So you just continue approaching until you get what you need. And then you start presenting, signing up. We were seeing volume growths of between 10 and 20,000 a month, and it was amazing. So you just set your sights on where you want to go and resolve yourself to the fact that you're not going to stop until you get there. And I didn't have to do a lot of figuring out, Colton. I really didn't, because I had people on my team in my upline that were willing to do three-way calls with me. And they were willing to do presentations on my behalf because I knew nothing. I knew I was excited as all get out, but I knew nothing about the science, about the business, about the comp plan, nothing. So if anybody ever asked me a question, well, how does that NRF2 work? Oh, hang on just 1 second, a minute. Let me get you the correct answer for that. Click off. I said, don't hang up now. click off, call Dr. Rich Petrus, get him on the phone. I said, I got one for you. Here we go. Click it back on. Hey, I wanted to make sure I had the correct answer for you. So I brought Dr. Rich over here. He's going to explain that to you. And I would just sit there and listen. And that's how I learned to do my presentation, was by listening to him. And also recording his presentations and then transcribing it so I could read it over the telephone, and everybody thought I was as smart as he was. and that's basically how I did it in 11 months. I mean, you set your mind like a bull and just go forward with blinders on and don't let anything stand in your way. That's it.
Perfect. That is absolutely perfect. And you know, you covered again that quick growth to 11 months. I mean, Pro 7 in 11 months. You gave out a lot of keys there. That's incredible. And I know a lot of people listening to the call are striving to get to that rank. So you gave out a lot of good keys there. And I kind of want to talk a little bit about, you know, with you. I think you're great with Pro 7, but you'd like to keep going. You want to get up to Elite Pro 8, and then eventually a Master Pro 10. Master Pro 10 at our company is $1 million in organizational volume every single month. For you, what would you say is the biggest obstacle in your way, and what's maybe keeping you, you know, what is something that could be considered an obstacle in the way for you getting to Pro 10?
Oh, let me show you. It's right here. Right there, folks. That's the biggest obstacle to Pro 10. That's the biggest obstacle to any rank, is right there on your screen. It's just like Seth said earlier, and I'm so glad he said it. He was invite hesitant because you're uncertain. You have fears, blah, 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 blah. You know, I don't care if you're a distributor with no rank at all, or whether you're a Pro 8 or Pro 9 stuck in management mode. That right there is something that you have to get over. And here's the thing about it is, there is hope, because the successful people in this industry, I'm not just saying LifeVantage, I'm saying in the whole industry, are the people who are in that position less time than they are in that condition. Okay, so the more active you are with inviting, I mean, I've seen weeks that I would invite 10 people a day. I would approach 10 people a day every single day, all strangers. I'd send them a video note on YouTube. I would do an introduction, the whole 9 yards, and email it to them and introduce myself. And then I've seen days I've done nothing because I didn't feel like it. I had the fear of the phone, you know? That's really the biggest thing in your way. You don't have to know the perfect invite. You don't have to have the perfect presentation. You don't have to have any of that. You've got Upline to handle perfect presentation on three-way calls. You know, you don't have to tell them you're bringing somebody on the call. You don't have to tell them that you want to introduce them to someone. Forget all that. If they ask you a question, say, hang on just 1 second. Let me get you that answer. Hang on, I got it right here. Dial up that upline. Yeah, let's go. Okay, here we go. Boom, boom. You're in business. You don't have to do it all by yourself anymore. You just don't. And see, I sit around some days just waiting for my phone to ring for somebody to call me to do a three-way. I bet I can count on 2 hands the number of three-ways I've done since I've been in this business. That's sad. That's sad. But it's true. Now, Dr. Rich, he'll be like, that boy worried me to death. You know? So it's just a matter of where do you want to go? How active do you want to be to get there? I mean, you know, that's just how it is.
That's
so
awesome.
Overcome your own head, and you don't have to be perfect. If excitement signs up more people in this industry than knowledge, it really does.
I think a lot of people just wrote that down in their notebooks. That last line, that's incredible. That is incredible. Well, you know what, Willem, we got another minute here. Again, you hit the rank of Elite Pro 7 in 11 months. You got obviously a lot of wisdom, a lot of insight into this. I guess is there is there one more key or a gold nugget, something else that you'd like to leave with this group to kind of wrap up here?
Well, I did before I got on this thing, but hey, I'm sort of hard pressed to think of anything at the moment. But it's just more of the same because, you know, Dexter Yeager, he's a big dog in Amway. He's probably one of the most successful network marketers in all of network marketing history. He passed away recently, but bless his soul. But somebody asked him one time, they said, okay, you got the yacht, you got the houses, you got the Rolls Royces, you got because, you know, the Amway boys, they showing it all off. Well, they asked him, they said, what drives you? He said, the same thing that drove me when I first got into networking. He said, I don't want to drive that beer truck again. He said, fear of failure, fear of my business slacking off. And they said, well, how do you do it these days? How do you grow your business? He said, I do it the same way I did before I made any money at all in this thing. I just go to work. I just do it. Just do it. He said, the way I did it back then and the way I do it today is the exact same way. I've changed nothing. I just keep going consistently. And I will tell you, consistency is the key. If you do a conference call and you've got 2 people on it, you should give the same presentation that you give when you've got 1,000 people on the call. And I've done some $1,200, $1,300, 1,300 people conference calls, and I'll tell you, it's the same as if I got 2 on there because everybody's important. You never know when that big dog is going to jump on your hook, and you're going to be like, oh, Lord. He's going to worry you like I worried Dr. Rich with 3-way calls. That's what's going to happen.
Awesome. Hey, William, that was absolutely fantastic.
One more thing.
Yes, sir. Go ahead.
One more thing, folks, and it's probably the thing I should have mentioned in the very beginning. Prayer works. If you're trying to attract someone into your business that you just cannot get through to, you got some people around you somewhere that you can call, and y'all can start praying that God would intervene in their life, and if it's in his will, to bring them to you. If that occurs, you're going to see a change in them people. You say, that's God. I didn't do that. I tried that 3 or 4 times. It didn't work. That's God. Jesus is your best partner, folks.
Man, William, you are absolutely awesome. We appreciate you jumping on and sharing with us today. Absolutely fantastic. A lot of gold nuggets again. You've been phenomenal. And again, take what you heard today, folks. Put it into practice. We appreciate you so much, William, jumping on and sharing with us. And
God bless y'all.
We're going to see you at those elite Pro 8s and Master Pro 10 ranks here in no time.
Amen.
No doubt. Awesome. Well, we have come to our final presenter of the call today, and I'm absolutely excited and thrilled to have this person on with us. This is someone, again, that we've been able to work with now for several years here at LifeVantage. Our next trainer joined LifeVantage back 7 years ago. Prior to joining LifeVantage, prior to joining network marketing, actually, she built a successful financial service practice, worked in that for 30 years. She pioneered product innovation and distribution, working with a number of big, giant companies out there, maybe some companies that you see on Wall Street. She has a bachelor's in international business from George Washington University and pursuing her master's at Johns Hopkins. But here at LifeVantage, she became an elite Pro 7, that Pro 7 rank that we've been talking about in 3 years, and worked extra hard, especially over these past few months, where earlier this year in January of 2020, she became our newest Master Pro 10, $1 million in volume in 1 month, and that is none other than Amy Holmwood. Amy, you know what? We've heard a lot of good stuff today. We've heard a lot of great gold nuggets, some interviews, some success stories. We got some product. We really kind of want you to just put a nice bow on this and give us a little call to action here. So, Amy, go ahead and take it away.
Thank you, Colton. Wow, this has been phenomenal, and it's so professional to work with all of you. Always honored to be part of LifeVantage. And today, my call to action is elevating our belief in this industry and in LifeVantage. Now, right at this moment in time, we have to shift our mindset because this moment will never come again. And there are moments, they're very rare, when opportunities come along and they are not announced. And I know you guys have heard me say this before, but when you find those opportunities and they come out of left field, which is where we are right now, we need to capitalize on that. So this was going to require a number of things for us to do. And one of those is shifting your mindset and working on your story again. I think each of us can rewrite our story today and get really deep and vulnerable with our stories about when we got involved, what was going on in our lives. I think a lot of people right now are going through a lot of fear, and we can be a resource and an olive branch for them by up-regulating our story a little bit, re-engineering and retooling that right now and elevating the belief in this industry, because so many people have a negative perception of it. I like to ask people, what would the perfect business look like for you right now? When they say, well, is it one of those things? When we start texting people, which by the way, Seth, thank you. You know, what is the perfect business look like to you? And that's the response to the question. Is this one of those things? And I say, well, what is the perfect business look like to you right now? What would that look like for you? Because really, when they describe the business that looks perfect for them, they're describing our industry. They just don't know it. We need to be the master of our destiny today. So again, looking at your own goals and taking advantage of the timing right now that we're in a business that can help people in two areas, financially, and then from a health perspective, and then also the community building, the ability to work the way that we can work. Being the leader today with mental toughness that we want to attract into our business. Become the leader that is mentally tough. You're going to need to be that for your team, and you must be that for yourself. So that is that what William just showed in that picture of that heavy burden of that mind. Mental toughness, you guys. Think of whatever sport or whatever it is that you had to do that you've conquered, that you're great at, that you overcame obstacles, whatever those things were in your life. Tap into that and focus on that, and that's who you are right now. And your energy is rock solid because you know you have something that can change people's lives as it has changed yours. Are we all not so happy that we know about these products? Are we not so happy that we have a business that has recurring revenue? You have a business opportunity today to build a much larger recurring revenue stream. And I want to talk to you really quickly. I forgot to set my timer. Because I really want to keep this tight. I know we've gone over. I'm going to keep this super tight. You guys, global trends are absolutely happening in our favor right now. Everything we have our hands on is important to the world today. There is nothing about what we have that isn't significant. Every aspect of it matters. So these trends are not going away. Wellness trends, look at what Dr. Dixon just talked about. People know they're starting to learn my food is medicine. My meditation is medicine. My exercise is medicine. My supplements are medicine. This is all around wellness trends, around botanicals, herbs, natural remedies that people are now wanting to know about. They want clean ingredients. They want a cleaner planet. They don't want plastic. They want clean stuff like what LifeVantage is offering. The biggest economic trend in world history is upon us right now. Health, wellness, life extension, the Tri-Synergizer. I am so fired up about that product. I am all about simplifying our message and sharing the Tri-Synergizer. I know everybody out there has got their different upline that's sharing this and that, but I'm telling you right now, that to me, because NAD, there is a world of consumers out there learning about it and talking about it. There's not a world of people out there talking about Nerve2 yet, just us. Take advantage of stuff that people are talking about it already, that are sophisticated consumers, and bring that into the direct selling industry with our NAD and our 3-product Synergizer. The 3 theories of aging. Who else is talking about this? Everybody else is going to start talking about this, you guys. We're the first ones, but NAD people are talking about. And look at the company that you get to play with today. You are in the NASDAQ. Now, the stock market is down right now, and LifeVantage was at an all-time high. You know, it's been all over the place. We are a baby company. I am so honored that all these investment platforms, me as a financial advisor, when I got to look at the company, I had a call last night with an accountant. I said, you can look at the earnings call. There's another one coming up. You can look at the recordings. You can look at the information. It's all available to you. Our company. Okay, this is a 5-year. You guys, we still look really good right now compared to the rest of the industry over 5 years. Are you joking? We are, this is as of Friday. This is a huge, huge selling point. Our company is still rock solid. Okay, we have everything available today for you to go build your business. I just told you about the timing and trends. This irrefutable, and today it's even more powerful. Products and company. Where are you going to find the 3 theories of aging and a presentation like Dr. Dixon just gave that we get to use, talking about the core foundation of health? Okay, we want to dig the well before we're thirsty, and our health too, not just our wealth. Potential earning, our compensation plan, and the market size. Market size, are you joking me? The total market capacity for LifeVantage products is the whole world. Is that a big enough business opportunity for you? And then mentorships and systems. The 4 pillars of LifeVantage. This is what I learned from Seth Mulder and Mark Shinsato when I started in the business. They're not even my upline, but I got to work with them because they shared this information with me when I qualified for a trip called the Pro Club. Qualify for incentive, you guys. That's what I built my business by, one incentive after another, after another, after another. That was how I worked my way up to the Elite Pro 10 ranks. It was just what's the next incentive trip? Win that. What's the next incentive trip? Win that. It's those behaviors of doing the system, the 4 pillars of LifeVantage. And you guys, this is really the simplicity of our business. There's nothing about it that's complicated, except our minds. And then our tenacity to be the leader that we know we're looking for. We can't attract that leader until we become that leader ourselves. So you guys, the call to action is for you to step into your greatness and leadership right now with total mental toughness. You're the quarterback of your team. You're recruiting a new team of people to come on to build business in the 21st century, post the new world we live in today, which we're in right now. And we have to face the fact that we're in this world and it's not going to change. Everything's changed forevermore the way we're going to live our lives. There will be nothing the same again. Do you guys agree with that? So what are you going to do today to tap into your own mental toughness, stop being a baby and complaining about where you are or you are not in your business? You have to take ownership. You're responsible for your own volume, and you guys have everything sitting on a silver platter. LifeVantage is a treasure. It's a buried treasure you just found, and it's only going to go up in value. So please treat it like that. That is your company, LifeVantage. Thank you guys so much. I'm so excited to be a part of this today, and I'm fired up, man. Let's go do some business.
There we go. Bada bing, bada boom. Amy Holmwood, absolutely perfect. Thank you so much for jumping on and sharing with us today. An incredible call to action there. Again, our newest Master Pro 10 here at LifeVantage, jumping on to put a nice bow on this training day. We appreciate you jumping on. And also wanted just to give a huge shout out in the comments section. Can we just give a shout out to all of our presenters today? Dr. Brian Dixon, Cassie Teal out there in South Dakota, William Lambert, North Carolina, Seth Mulder doing this, Amy Holmwood doing this, 2 Master Pro 10s here on the call today. It's been an absolute blast. A reminder to go ahead, check out the promo going on at the LV store, store.lifevantage.com. 10% off if you use the code LVSAT28. Remember the Road to Regionals promotion. And next Saturday, training for next Saturday, guys, we have coming up next Saturday, April 4th, 10 o'clock, Sarah Harding, Elite Pro 7 on the call. We have Bob and April Wagner, Elite Pro 8s on the call. We have Jason Kokenzie, Elite Pro 8 on the call, and Elite Pro 9 on the call. Tara Wilson, it's been an absolute blast. Guys, thank you so much. Let's go out there, get it done, and we'll see you next Saturday on our next Success Mastery Call. Take care and have a wonderful day.
Thanks, everybody.